This episode is brought to you by Airbus, U.S. Space and Defense. Marine Corps Expeditionary Advanced Base operations require logistical support when and where Marines need it. The Airbus UH-72 Unmanned Logistics Connector provides proven performance and reliability alongside next-generation autonomous capability. As the Marine Corps revolutionizes warfare, the UH-72 Unmanned Logistics Connector evolves to support it. Visit AirbusUS.com to learn more. That's AirbusUS.com. Hey, Scuttlebutt listeners, thank you for sticking with us. Day 3 coming to a close, and there is no closing without speaking to El Jefe.
El Jefe, El Chapo?
Yes. Lieutenant General Charles Chiarotti, sir. Thank you so much for sitting down and giving us your closing thoughts. So, What do you think? I guess from our ivory tower here, this was an amazing week.
Absolutely out of the ballpark on all fronts. And I think, as I spent the last 3 days walking the floor, talking to our industry partners, talking with our senior leadership of the Marine Corps, there was a resounding message. Number one, a couple of messages, excuse me. Number one was that, this was far above anything that we've accomplished in the past. And that's not to take away anything from there, but the work that we put into to this year's event really paid off. And I think the one word that used to describe one of the vendors came up and they said, there's a synergy to everything that's happening in here, whether it's the main stage, whether it's the displays, whether it's the senior leader engagement, it all seems to be working in one unison effort, and you go from PMs to the Marine stage to the main stage and all that, and it all works together. And when I heard that, I was just like, I think we've hit it. I think this is exactly what we were looking for, to have a focused kind of multi-plane line of communication. In other words, as you start from the senior leader level and you bring it down through the Marine stage with perhaps more of the middle management of the Marine Corps, all the way down to the individual program and requirements and capabilities needed to support some of these concepts that the Commandant talks about. It was you could draw a line through it. And I think that was fantastic. The ancillary events like our spouses program.
Yeah, I wanted to talk that.
Just really, I think, that was perhaps, I would say, that was a little uncharted water there, right? I mean, we hadn't been there before. It's the first time as an association that we were really moving into the family and the whole Marine life. And so I think accepting the challenges and the risks that come with that. The program that the team put together, led by Marta and the rest of the team, I think was just great.
I really appreciated the willingness to be. It's so overused now, but for leadership to be vulnerable and take. Right. I would like to hear the real feedback from spouses and unfiltered, candid, what do you think? Yeah. And they got it. And I think we're going to move the ball because of it, right?
I do too. I think there's so many, there's just, our role is not, ours as an association is not to replicate what the service provides for our family. Our role is really to do what we do best. We provide professional military education. We enhance it where the commandants, authorities, and resources aren't able to reach. We can do that, and we do that extremely well. If you look across all of our awards programs, if you look at our events and everything else like that, so we provide a platform to bring together those capabilities in a venue that is, of this caliber, and deliver it in a way that is non-threatening, deliver it in a way that is meaningful, and from those subject matter experts who really know what they're talking about. We're kind of the best of breed, and so this is it's exciting because it's a whole new area of exploration for the association that we haven't normally done in the past, you know, and so. This model, we've replicated it already at the MEFs. We're going to go out to Okinawa here in a couple of weeks, and we'll have our professional dinner. We'll have our leadership conference for our staff NCOs, NCO level, company grade level, and then we have a spouses program. And this is again at the request and the behest of the MEF commanders. What do you need? And then we'll put it together for you.
It's awesome.
So one of the things I noticed this year is very interactive compared to previous. I mean, like now we're getting, hey, we are trying this simunition, or hey, we're trying this simulation system, and it's slowly turning into fly a drone, slowly turning into like Marine Corps Disneyland, and especially my favorite part was the wargaming tournament. So what are your thoughts on how those that went this year?
Great. I mean, we were just talking. We were just over there in the Commandant. Awarded the cup to the number one wargaming team, and
well, who was the winner? We haven't announced it yet.
It was actually a team out of McTaug, and they were all enlisted. Second place was officers from EWS.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, so here's the second team place who's spent the last year at Expeditionary Warfare School getting swacked by the young Marines, which tells us something, right? It tells us of what this new generation of Marine is all about. It tells us about, and the comment talks about it. He says that he said in his brief just a little while ago about how the Marines are so technologically advanced. They're so educated and intellectual, and it's not a slight or a hit on those of my generation or anything else like that. It's exposure. Mm-hmm. It's being able to have these capabilities at a very, very young age. Look, when I was growing up, the most technological advancement was a record player, yeah. and that was pretty cool. And by the time I remember a battalion commander, I had an iPod, and for those of you who don't know what iPods are,
I used to say that the most technologically advanced thing in my AAV was the iPod that I brought up.
Which is ironic considering the fact I have a record collection.
So do I. I'm like, I still have all mine, but if you think about what our young Marines have today we're giving them loitering munitions.
Yeah,
we're giving them an unmanned loitering munition. And, most people go, oh, that's pretty cool, But if you stop and think about that, and you think about the complexity of that, and I don't mean by the fact that the Marine, he has the ability to see forward in front of them and to be able to, to engage the enemy. The complexity of that is the decision making that goes into dropping that munition.
It's an 06 authority.
It's an 06 authority. Yeah. You've got it, right? So normally that kind of munition would be released by Fire Support Coordination Center. The target would be a target solution that would have already been vetted. Mm-hmm. There would be, the fires guys would have run through, does this meet the rules of engagement, blah, 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 all those things. And today we're getting to the point where that authority and that to release or to shoot or to go kinetic is really pushed down to a squad level, fire team level. If you think about it, okay. I mean that. It's not just about the thing; it's about the intellectual and strategic capabilities that Marine has to embark upon. And I think that's fascinating. Because. That's strategic. Now we talk about that strategic corporal. We talk about the corporal who makes a decision which has a tactical decision which has strategic implications. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Right there. If you shoot at a target, which is if you don't have clarity of the targeting, if you don't understand the impact of that kinetic action. And that's what we have to train our Marines to. I think that's going to be the excitement of the future force design capabilities and what they're going to bring to our young Marines. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, General Chiarotti, you've had a very busy week. It ain't over yet, so we'll go ahead and allow you to sign off.
Well, let me know before you kick me out of here. What about you guys? What do you think?
This was I would say the level, and I guess to dovetail off of what William was saying, but the level of It wasn't just the interaction, but the level of willingness to participate. It wasn't this sort of, hey, that's cool, but I don't really know. Everyone's like, hey, I'm coming and I want to go see this thing. I was actually commenting earlier today in one of our earlier interviews that as I was going down the escalator, I could hear the Marines and, their squad leader is kind of going through, giving them the lay that he's IPB. Yeah. And he mentioned the Wargaming Center, and a few of the Marines behind him like, oh, I want to check that out for sure. And so it was not just that we had facilitated this thing, but there was an eagerness of an enthusiasm to participate.
The enthusiasm, and then also the hands-on experience. I was going around getting B-roll and just seeing, like, hey, instead of awkwardly walking by, like, come over, like, put a gun in your hand and put some rounds down. Come check out this war game. Come check out our equipment. Come look through these scopes. So this really doing the purpose of Modern Day Marine, which is to connect the Marine Corps with industry, literally put equipment in hands and get feedback and try to tighten that relationship, because the theme that we're talking about on this podcast a lot is getting industry and Marines together closer, because the changing character war requires it.
Well, you could see the industry partners. It wasn't just them stovepiped in their own little area. They were talking, and there's cross-pollination, and they're working.
So, a great tell here for in the last 3 days, of an industry partner talking about the vehicle. We're talking about the vehicle that they were showing and the capability of it, and we're like just looking at the passenger seat, the A gunner there, and one of the Marines came up and he was talking about this, and he said, and he sat in it, everything was good to go and everything else like that, and he said, does this, because it was a 90-degree capable seat, and so you could look forward, or you could look partially all the way back, and the Marine said, does this seat swivel all the way? And we're kind of looking at him like, well, why? He goes, well, because when I was a vehicle commander in Afghanistan and we were getting hit, I had to literally, I couldn't look back at my gunner who was up on the cupola, and I couldn't look back at the two radio operators that were back there, or whatever the situation was, to be able to communicate and understand what they were doing. And they sat there right there, that these industry guys were going, we can do that. We can swivel this thing and we can lock it out. That's the kind of feedback that they want to hear. They want to get this in the Marines' hands. They want to see. Obviously, they have the capabilities of designing, engineering everything, but to hear it, to touch it for a Marine, to say, hey, I was out there and I saw this, and this was a limiting factor for me. If you change this, it's going to make it so much better. And that's what they did. They went back, they took their notes, and they started to work the problem right there. That's value to industry.
Absolutely. And it's facilitating a better product, getting to the Marine faster. Because now you don't have to go through Makatia. You don't have to go through
exactly right. Right. You just make it, because it's already a fielded program. So all you're doing is the next iteration is upgraded. It won't even be known. I mean, it's not like you're changing the configuration or anything like that. So it's good. Just all the way around, home run. Thanks to you two. Thanks to you two for really collecting all the thoughts.
Just doing our part.
It's fantastic. Anyway, cheers.
Cheers.
We would like to thank Airbus U.S. Space and Defense for sponsoring this episode. Marine Corps Expeditionary Advanced Base operations require logistical support when and where Marines need it. The Airbus UH-72 Unmanned Logistics Connector provides proven performance and reliability alongside next-generation autonomous capability. As the Marine Corps revolutionizes warfare, the UH-72 Unmanned Logistics Connector evolves to support it. Visit AirbusUS.com to learn more. That's AirbusUS.com. Scuttlebutt is a production of the Marine Corps Association. You have heard the voices and contributions from Major Vic Rubel, USMC retired, Nancy Litchman, William Trudy, and our guest. Ty Fraser is the editor, sound engineer, and technical producer. The Marine Corps Association is not an agency of the U.S. government. The opinions expressed in this episode are the personal views of the participants and do not reflect the official position of the United States Marine Corps, Department of Defense, or the Marine Corps Association.